The River Culm rises in the north of the Blackdown Hills area of outstanding natural beauty, bubbling up through its unique green sand geology. From the edge of the intensively farmed plateau, the river gently winds its way through unique springline mire habitat, through pasture and hidden valleys before reaching the wider floodplain at Hemiup. From here, reminders of an industrial past are seen as the river spills across the floodplain into multiple channels, many of which were man-made to provide water to the numerous mills that fed the booming wool trade in the Industrial Revolution. From Comstock, the river widens and passes through a more intensively farmed landscape, past Willand, Culmpton and Bradnich, before joining the River Exe at Stoke Cannon, just outside Exeter. Throughout its length, the River Culm supports a wide variety of wildlife. Otters are thriving but seldom seen, and birds such as heron, little egret, dipper and kingfisher can be spotted. Beneath the water, the river supports a diverse range of fish such as brown trout, brook lamprey and stone loach, along with fascinating freshwater invertebrates including stonefly, mayfly and caddisfly larvae, and the UK's largest native freshwater invertebrate, the white-clawed crayfish. Sadly, the white-clawed crayfish is under threat from the invasive American signal crayfish, a lack of high-quality habitat and reduced water quality. The white-clawed crayfish is the UK's only native crayfish. They can grow up to 12 centimetres long and have large pincer-like claws that are coloured cream or rosy white on their underside. It is these distinctive claws which have given the white claws their name. They extract calcium from the water to build their hard exoskeleton shell, which they shed and regrow every time they increase in size, a process called molting. White-clawed crayfish are omnivorous, which means they eat everything from invertebrates and small fish to aquatic plants and algae. They prefer to live in habitats which offer food and shelter, such as underwater tree roots, submerged vegetation and stony riverbeds. They play an important role in the freshwater environment, as well as providing food for other animals such as fish, herons and otters. They are well camouflaged creatures and more active at night, which means you'll rarely see these secretive invertebrates. White-clawed crayfish were once widespread in England and Wales, but have suffered a massive decline in recent years and are now at risk of global extinction. The River Culm has one of only 2 remaining populations in Devon, and they are under threat of extinction primarily due to the invasive American signal crayfish. American signal crayfish escaped into the River Culm from ponds in the 1990s and are really bad news for the white-clawed crayfish. The signal name comes from the white spot on the top of the claw. Signal crayfish can outcompete the white-clawed crayfish because they grow bigger, eat more, reproduce faster, have more offspring, are more aggressive and are tolerant to a wider range of water conditions. Signal crayfish can also spread crayfish plague, which they themselves are immune, but is deadly to the native white-clawed crayfish. It attacks the soft tissue of the crayfish and once introduced into their habitat can kill them in just weeks. They often also burrow into riverbanks, causing bank instability and erosion, which in turn reduces water quality. Thanks to funding from the Heritage Lottery Fund, Environment Agency and the East Devon Catchment Partnership, there is some hope for the River Culm's native white-clawed crayfish. During 2018, with help from volunteers, the Blackdown Hills Area of Outstanding Natural Beauty is carrying out a comprehensive survey of the upper River Culm and its tributaries to find out exactly where the 2 species of crayfish are living in the river. Get in touch if you'd like to help. The project is also visiting schools and running events to raise awareness of crayfish and other river wildlife, so keep an eye out for more information in your community. You can also help white-clawed crayfish by being biosecurity conscious. One of the major reasons for the decline in white-clawed crayfish is the spread of crayfish plague, which can easily be spread between sites, for example on wet fishing kit, dogs or footwear. Signal crayfish themselves can also be inadvertently spread by similar means through fish introduction or transfer of water. There are some simple things that you can do to help prevent the spread of crayfish plague and also signal crayfish, such as follow the check, clean, dry code after being in a river. Check your equipment and clothing for live organisms and mud that could carry crayfish plague spores. Clean and wash all your equipment, footwear and clothes thoroughly. Dry all equipment and clothing. Some species can live for many days in moist conditions. Make sure that you don't transfer water elsewhere. With one of the only remaining populations of white-clawed crayfish here in Devon, we have a vital role to play in safeguarding the future of this endangered species, so please be biosecure. For more information about the project, please visit www.blackdownhillsaonb.gov.uk/crayfish or email blackdownhills@devon.gov.uk or phone 01823 680 681.